Not exactly an hour-long episode like we were all hoping. May have been disappointed by a certain reveal that happened, but there's some other reveals that happened in the show that are pretty cool. Some of us guessed, some of us we didn't. With all that said, there are going to be spoilers in this video. Let's talk about episode 7 of WandaVision. So let me real quick talk about the episode length of this show. There has been a lot of theories that the show is supposed to be 6 hours long, and so these last few episodes must be an hour each because there's 3 hours left. But the only thing I could really find on this, of somebody truly clarifying that it's going to be 6 hours, is when the director was talking to Frosty with Collider. And he was saying, Frosty asked him, like, is the show 6 hours long? And he said, roughly about that, yeah.
So, I want to confirm, is the entire series, if you were to watch it from beginning to end, is it 6 hours? What's the length of the entire thing?
Yeah, roughly around 6 hours.
I know the first 3 episodes are about 30 minutes each. At some point, I guess, some of these episodes are going to start being, like an hour? Like, how long are some of these upcoming episodes?
Yeah, I'll let you guys sort of discover that as you go. So much of WandaVision is narrative through form manipulation. We are playing around with aspect ratio and size and episode length and style and design. So there's a lot to discover kind of as you go along.
Okay, so you're saying to me that there could be an episode down the road that is an hour and a half or something longer?
I am doing what I usually do, which is say nothing.
Now, if we do the math and look at each episode with the credits and everything, we're still, after episode 7, only about 4 hours into that. Now, there's 2 episodes left. This could mean a couple things. One, each episode's going to be an hour starting now, like the 8th and 9th episode are each going to be an hour, or the next episode's going to be another short one, 30-something minutes, maybe 40 minutes, and then the very last episode is going to be just a really long episode. The other possibility is just that he's kind of saying roughly 6 hours because he didn't actually time it out in his head. And there's 9 episodes, so yeah, probably roughly 6 hours, and maybe they're all short episodes. Who knows? I think we need to stop overblowing certain theories that we make in our heads, or we're just going to get disappointed, as we see with this engineer. Right? I'm going to go right into the engineer thing because for the last few episodes, Monica has talked about, I got this guy, this aerospace engineer, and we're all like, Reed Richards, Hank McCoy, so-and-so, so-and-so. And we're all hyping up. There's videos all over online. Who's this going to be? Is it going to be Blue Marvel? Is it going to be blah, blah, blah? And who does it turn out to be? Just some random, major lady. Now, okay, it may not actually be her, right? Technically, this aerospace engineer could be somebody else, and this major who comes up, and this whole team could just be working for whoever this aerospace engineer is. That's a possibility. But I tend to lean towards the side that I think that was just something that we overblew, because this is one of those shows that I think is just really getting analyzed frame by frame. Every little thing that's said, audio descriptions, subtitles, everybody's analyzing hex color codes from license plates. Everybody's analyzing everything, but we have to remember not everything means something. And I think she was talking about this aerospace engineer, and as an audience, we want everything to be cool, so we just assume it's going to be someone exciting, and it wasn't. I think that's just, it is what it is. I think that is the engineer. I think this team is just people she worked with in the past, and she's like, oh, I know some people, and there you go. That is what it is. But we do get a couple other cool reveals, right? We get to see Monica turn into Photon, and we get to see Agnes finally reveal herself as Agatha Harkness, the other witch, right? With this purple magic stuff. So I'm not going to break down this episode scene by scene. There's going to be plenty of videos out there for that. This is just going to be my thoughts on this episode. Overall, some of the cool reveals and some questions we still may have. Now, what the big thing of this is we see that she has expanded the hex now. We have the Modern Family kind of style for this sitcom in this episode, where it's almost like The Office in a way. The opening credit sequence was kind of reminded me of The Office with the music and stuff. What did it remind you guys of? Let me know, comment below. Maybe there's something else. But anyways, we have this Modern Family thing. They're kind of interviewing with the camera, breaking the fourth wall to an extent. And Wanda is just tired. She's exhausted. She's expended so much energy, this hex controlling everybody, all this stuff, that her bandwidth is running pretty low, right? Like, things are changing. She's like, I can't even control anything anymore. You know, the milk is changing, the kids' controllers are changing, and things are fluctuating, and she's just like, oh my God. And I think it's just the fact that she's being drained, right? Her magic, we saw in the last episode that people around her, they're all active and stuff, but the farther out you go, they kind of become animatronics at Disney World, and then beyond that, they're just like statues, right? And so now it's even more expanded than that, and as we see in this one, the clowns and circus and stuff are all actively going, which means she's controlling people super far out there that aren't even right around her. So her abilities are just, she's at max right now, and the bandwidth needed is much more than she can provide, so things are glitching. Whew. So to help give her a break, Agnes kind of takes the kids off her hand, right? And we kind of know something is suspicious here, but we don't exactly know what. And she takes the kids off their hand. There's this bunny. A lot of people I've seen online are saying the bunny is Doctor Strange. I think the bunny is a bunny. I'm trying not to go too in-depth with assuming things because we could get disappointed. I'm trying to keep my mind open. But we also don't really know what her deal is or why she's doing what she's doing. We see at the end of the episode, you know, Wanda comes over like, where's my kids? Oh, in the basement somewhere. She goes down there, and then it's all creepy, right? This imagery, the music, everything about it's like sinister, and it just creepier and creepier the farther she goes in. Then we see this like magic book. We see Agatha come in and reveal herself to be Agatha Harkness. We then see the whole thing where it kind of flashes back and shows how she's kind of been the one pulling the strings all along of like guiding all the craziness that happens, whether it's her making Vision suspicious, you know, or whether it's the stuff at the magic show, or Pietro coming in, she's manipulating him or creating him out of nothing. I don't know. We don't know yet really what his deal is. But essentially it's just showing that she's kind of the bad guy. Now, let's be real. I still don't think she's the big bad. I think she's there. I think she's doing all this, but we don't know why yet. Is she making Wanda do all this as a false sense of a gift, you know, almost like the monkey's paw, right? You like, here, you get these wishes, but bad stuff happens because of it. It's almost like she convinced Wanda to do all this because she can have the perfect life, but maybe she's feeding off her magic, you know, trying to weaken her so maybe she's absorbing the magic and trying to resurrect, you know, Mephisto or Nightmare or something. Now, they may not be using Mephisto in this, but I do think there's going to be a bigger bad at some point, and then we're probably going to get a big cameo, whether it's whoever it is that's playing this big bad or another guy that comes in to help everybody, like Doctor Strange, or somebody is going to come in and blow our minds in that last episode. But outside of all that now, we go into what's happening outside the Hex, right? When we have Monica turning into Photon. And that was a really cool sequence, I think, because, you know, that she gets this she gets this like vehicle from the engineer person and tries to ram it through. It doesn't work. And then she's like, screw this, I'm running in. She, you know, total, I'm Leroy Jenkins moment. And she goes in and she's, you know, her personality is kind of coming across in these different things, and she's like forcing herself through. And then we hear the flashbacks of her with Captain Marvel and her mom and all this stuff, and it's like all this stuff guiding her to be like, I'm gonna do this. And she gets through, and she has the blue eyes, and she sees like the wavelengths and stuff, and then she goes and confronts Wanda and holds her own, right? Because Wanda's trying to throw her out and slam her into the ground, and you know, she does the whole superhero posting, like, boom, what's up? And kind of holds her own. But that's when Agatha steps in and is like, yeah, I'm going to take her away from you. You are not welcome here. And I'm kind of surprised that Monica didn't, like I don't know, Monica just kind of let them walk off, I guess. I don't know why she didn't go with her. Like, why wasn't she knocking on the door like, hey, whoever this lady is, who cares? Like, I need to blah, blah, blah. I don't know. That part seemed kind of weird. But we do get an after credit sequence where we see her trying to get in, and then we see Pietro again. You know, Snooper's got to snoop. Now, with Pietro, I still am holding on hope that he's the Quicksilver from X-Men, because we still don't really know who he is. Is he a bad guy presenting himself as Quicksilver, somebody who's working with Agatha? Is he Ralph, or is he Mephisto or Nightmare, and he was just going undercover as her brother? The reason I don't buy that is because I don't see a story reason as to why he would look different than her actual brother. Like, if he could shapeshift into being somebody and whatever. And then also it shows Agatha kind of controlling him, so I don't think she's controlling the big bad. So either he's a total manifestation of nothing and he looks different because Agnes didn't actually know what his face looked like, or Agatha knew, there's this whole thing about the Nexus in the commercial about, like, you can live in whatever world you want and blah, 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 blah. And Agnes is a witch, so maybe she pulled a Quicksilver from another universe, the X-Men universe, and put him here. It's like, hey, that's as close as we're going to get. He has super speed, that'll work. And, like, manipulates him to pretend to be the brother and is still being manipulated by him. So you can't really judge him based on his actions. He's within a hex where there's two witches controlling everybody's minds and stuff. So who's really doing what based on their own free will? Pretty much nobody, except for Vision, right? Vision's kind of the only one that we know for sure isn't being manipulated anymore. Because even Agatha could be being manipulated by whoever the big bad is. Wanda, we see her getting manipulated. Maybe Monica too. She's not really being manipulated at this point. But yeah, I don't know where I'm going with all this. I'm totally rambling on right now. The other question I'm still not really understanding is the point of the sitcom thing. There must be some sort of point to it, right? Before there was a signal they were able to pick on, or Sword was able to, like, pick up on and kind of watch the show. Now nobody's able to get a signal, so they're not able to watch the show, but they're still doing the show style with Modern Family. So who is this for? Because they even show Agatha at one point behind the camera kind of interviewing Wanda and manipulating her in that way, but they also show her doing the interview herself. But who's she doing this for? Like, why? What's the point? Is this for her own amusement? Is this for whoever the big bad is? Just thought it'd be entertaining to have a show style thing just to mess with people because he has a sense of humor? Or what? I still don't. I'm hoping there's somewhat of an explanation as to why there's a show style to it, other than just, like, for our entertainment as an audience. I hope there's some sort of story reason behind it, but maybe not. So anyways, that's my thoughts. This was a short episode again, but a lot of stuff happens and not a lot happens at the same time. I want to know your thoughts. Was it cool to see Monica become Photon? Were you surprised by the Agnes being Agatha Harkness? I wasn't, because that's pretty much what everyone thought the second we saw the trailers. And, do you think there's a big bad? If so, who do you think it is? Why do you think Agatha is doing what she's doing? With Sword and their whole cataract thing of trying to bring Vision back as a weapon, sentient weapon, first SW and Sword. What's their goal with that? Are they trying to do good by using him and they're just going about it in a bad way? Or kind of like Tony Stark accidentally made Ultron trying to do something good. Is that kind of what Sword is doing? Are they trying to do good by bringing him back? Or do they have evil tones of what they want to do it for? I want to know your thoughts on that. And Peter, Maximoff, do you think he's an X-Men still? Do you think he's a manifestation of nothing? Do you think he's just a random person in the town being manipulated? Do you think he's actually one of the antagonists working with Agatha? So many possibilities with him still. I want to know your thoughts on that. So again, this might have been a short episode, but a lot happens. There's still a lot of questions, and there's only 2 episodes left. I want to know everything you think after you subscribe and comment below. Yep, that's all I have to say about that.